Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach, and today we are going to work on this greenhouse. So if you caught back about a month ago, I think it was, we had a big snow that came in and then just set on my cattle panel greenhouse and kind of bent the cattle panels. Nothing broke. So I think we're going to be manageable here, but the weather is finally trying to break some and give us some warmth, and we are itching to get back into this garden. So today we're going to work on this guy together and see what we can do. So as you can tell here, this is the side that it was weighing on, and you can see how it's bowed it really bad right there. Now, the one thing about cattle panels is they are strong, but they are bendable back, right? So I can get these all back. You can tell it broke all of my hooks that I had here, and then it also took it off the frame in the back. So just with a little maneuver, I'm hoping that everything will bend back to normal eventually. However, I am aware it might not look as perfect as it did before. It might not have the nicest curve for a little bit until it trains itself back to that way. However, y'all know cattle panels are expensive. They're not, this isn't a cheap thing. So I'll take a little crooked looking greenhouse and functional over one that cost me a bunch more money. So let's get on this thing. All right, the first thing we're gonna try to do is get this back one back on my frame over here, because that'll help a lot. There, I need to nail that in. Well, let's hope it all goes that smooth. So you can already tell it's coming back to form. So now I gotta get all these other cattle panels and get them nailed back in. And all I'm using are these little guys, these little staple looking things, staple nails, I think they call them. I like to call them U-nails, but I know that's not the right name. But that's what we're gonna use and try to pop this thing back on there. Okay, so I got it all braced back up on the bottom so everything's together. It did make a difference. It might not look like it completely, but it did. Like, I can stand in here now without my head hitting. I was having to do this just to walk in here. So that's what I was getting at. It is gonna take time for it to probably work itself back. Now, I know there's all kinds of options I can do here. Actually, in the first one I did, when it was much smaller at our old place, I did put the two beams across the top. Much shorter greenhouse though. It was nice and secure doing it that way. And I do recommend it. Like, if you want to do that, absolutely. For this size of greenhouse that we have here, I would probably have to put like 2 posts in the middle to help secure it. Might be something I do in the future. But that would help balance this weight load and also help the frame itself stay into place. But for now, that'll work. I do need to work on this window and get it covered back up. That got ripped to shreds. One thing that's kind of nice, it's something we noticed the years we've had this cattle panel. When we had our shelf over here, when our plants would start getting tall, this plastic would kind of lean in on them and would kind of get them burnt because they'd be so close to that plastic. Honestly, with this hoop a little taller right over the shelf, it's actually a good thing for that. Hey, I'm happy with it. I know it doesn't look good. It does not look like it did when I first put it together. I get that. Not what I was looking for here. I was looking for a functional greenhouse because it's time to start seeds. And that's what we have so far. We are completely sealed. Did a temporary window till I can get that fixed. The door shuts just fine. So now it's time to clean all this up. Let's do it. And just like that, she is ready for seeds. You got to remember when you're doing this stuff, right? There are so many beautiful things on YouTube that your neighbors have, that anything like this. Like, there's a lot of beautiful things out there. The goal here is to grow plants. So if you don't mind what it looks like, there are so many simple, cheap, and easy DIY ways to grow your own plants and start your own garden. Don't feel like you have to have something extremely elaborate or a high tunnel that costs $14,000 or anything like that. You can be so creative with what you have at home to make something work. All a greenhouse is a clear plastic structure that is closed off, that can bring in that sun heat and let your plants thrive. The only thing that you really need that we like to do is have a little heat source out here, because we don't really start inside very much. We start it all out here. So on those cold snaps, you just want to make sure to be able to keep the soil a little warm. Just in that spot, you don't have to heat the whole greenhouse. So if we have seeds starting right there, we have that little bitty black space heater that's right there on it, and that's it. You just got to keep that spot warm. You don't have to have a greenhouse that's going to be 80 degrees in the middle of the night when it's 32 degrees outside. That isn't the purpose here. And also, it's going to help too with your plants, because they're going to grow stronger and bigger with surviving all of these elements to not be babied. So get out of your head. Quit thinking that you can't do it because you don't have this or that or what you're seeing everybody else have. You can have a bent over greenhouse that you made yourself that only costs about $250 to throw together, but it can start every seed we grow, and sell, which is going to be almost 1,000 plants in here, all in this little bitty greenhouse. Such a little Monday motivation if you're watching this on Monday. But I'm really happy that it's cleaned up. We will be starting seeds probably later today, to be honest with you. We'll make sure to shoot and talk about what we're doing there, because it's going to be a lot different than last year. We're going to be taking kind of a different route in our gardening because of everything that's in our pantry. We'll explain all that in the next videos. But I'm glad y'all came along with me today to help me clean up this greenhouse that madly, desperately needed some attention. And stay tuned for a lot of good content that's going to come from right here. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. We love y'all. And until the next one, bye.